All right. Hey guys, how are you? My name is Brian, also known as OCD Mindful. Okay, this is it. Today I'm going to reveal to you the one thing you need to do, the only thing you need to do to overcome your OCD. Are you ready? Have you already guessed it? I think you know what it is. Okay, this is it. This is all you have to do. Learn to accept uncertainty. That's it. That's the whole trick. Much easier said than done. All right. And if you've looked into treating your OCD at all, or if you've worked with a specialist, you already know that that is the end game. That's the end goal. That's really what all the work that you do in treatment is, to eventually get you to a place where you can say, I am okay not knowing. I am okay living in a world of uncertainty. Now, I've hit this point a bunch of times before, and I'm going to continue to hit it because this is the concept that everybody who's reached out to me, myself included, all the people that I met when I was doing OCD support groups, it's the polar opposite of what the OCD sufferer wants. So of course, it's the hardest concept to understand. It's easy to understand intellectually, right? The first time that I sat down with my OCD specialist and he said, are you willing to live in a world of uncertainty? Intellectually, I said, yeah, I get it. I can't get an answer to this thing, but emotionally, it's a whole different ballgame. It really means to jump in and accept the very thing that is the core of your OCD. Your OCD lives and thrives. It demands certainty. And so all of the stuff we do in treatment, exposure response prevention, all of the mindfulness training that you do, all the other therapeutic techniques that might help you on your way, they're all intended to get you to a place where you can accept living in a world of uncertainty, where you can be uncertain about your specific OCD theme. Now, why I'm bringing this up today, and I'm sure some of the people that have been emailing me over the last week or so will know that I'm talking about you guys. Certainly won't name anybody, but look, it's always the theme that I get when people reach out and ask me questions. I can tell right off the bat what they want is a certainty. They haven't taken the first step towards treatment, towards getting better. And not only is it the first step, like I said, it's the whole step. That's the whole thing. So, I had somebody this week that must have asked me 15 different times, and I emailed back 15 different times, but they just kept finding a way to ask for reassurance. The reassurance that they wanted was the last HOCD video I made, I intentionally threw in a sort of trigger for a lot of people who have HOCD. What I said was, just because you have OCD does not mean that the threat, the risk, the thing that you're afraid of can't be real, okay? And the reason I say that is because really it helps to get us out of the common ritual that so many people that suffer with OCD use. The ritual of saying, it's OCD. It's not me, it's my OCD. That means it can't be real. That's a problem, okay? For anybody who is even looked into treatment a little bit or even tried to understand the psychology behind why that is a problem, it's very easy to pinpoint why it's a problem. One, the second that you say, it's not me, it's not real, it's just OCD, you are not accepting the uncertainty that it might be real. Okay, you cannot habituate to the anxiety, to the fear of that consequence if you don't take the first step that says it might be real. And so if you're in treatment, or if you're trying to do this by yourself, which I definitely would advise against, look for a professional OCD specialist. I'm happy to talk to people now. There's a lot of people that are reaching out to me to talk. I mean, guys, really, I did so much research. I read every single book. I worked with 5 different specialists for OCD. I studied with some of the most famous bodhisattvas in the world when I got into mindfulness meditation. I really finally understood it. I've said this before. Once I started doing the meditations and the mindfulness training, it helped me to accept that I truly couldn't get an answer. It helped me to take that first step towards living in a world of uncertainty. But I will tell you this, if you are doing exposure response prevention and then you're going back and doing some reassurance, some ritual to say, okay, I'm accepting the uncertainty, but then you're saying it's not real, it's because it's OCD, then you're not accepting the uncertainty. You're 100% doing this backdoor ritual that is so obvious to see. And so, as hard as it is, I understand how hard it is. I failed for years. I kept cheating. I kept ritualizing. I kept reassuring myself. So truly, I wasted thousands of dollars in therapy. I wasted my therapist's time. I wasted my time. And when I finally decided that I had enough gusto to make that first step, the whole step of learning how to live in a world of uncertainty, this condition started getting better almost immediately. Okay, so yeah, everything that you do, there's dozens, perhaps hundreds of books now, and there's thousands of videos. And this is another thing, and I've mentioned this about the videos. If you are watching OCD video after OCD video, you are doing that as a ritual. Okay? Watch a video. If there's good information in there, take that information, jot it down, and then don't watch the video again. Don't watch this video again unless you're really struggling with this concept of accepting uncertainty. But there are so many, it's actually disheartening that there are so many videos on OCD where, especially on HOCD. Now, HOCD was one of the main themes that I dealt with. Probably the hardest theme that I dealt with. It was one that really, really knocked me out and kept me obsessing and feeling anxious all day, every day. But you see all of these videos about HOCD. Is it HOCD or denial? Okay, now the reason that's sort of popular in the world of HOCD is that because in the world of sexual orientation, there are people who decide to be in denial about their sexual orientation, right? So it's a popular term that gets used in the real world of coming out or discussing your sexual orientation. But the truth is, that's no different at all than watching any OCD video and saying, is it OCD or is it real? It's the same exact thing, okay? When you watch a video that says, am I suffering with HOCD or is it denial? All you're trying to do is guarantee that you have OCD and that it's not real. That means right there, you are not accepting uncertainty, okay? So this is the whole shebang, you guys. It is the whole shebang. It is not to be taken lightly. And when you make the decision to live in a world of uncertainty, what that means is you are giving up your rituals. You are basically going, I can't get an answer to this one, okay? It sucks because it's most likely the most important thing in the world to you, but you have to start. You have to take the first step and decide that you're okay. You're going to deal with the anxiety. You are not going to answer the question. You're not going to try to undo any of the anxiety that comes with it. You are going to accept, okay? Now, Jonathan Grayson, who I recommend his book highly. Out of all the books I have read, I think it's the most on point. And I worked with John, luckily, when he was in Philadelphia. And, he has a whole chapter about it. But this is the thing. It's the thing that I did, and it's the thing that I fear most people are doing, is I answered the question, yes, I'm ready to live in a world of uncertainty, but I didn't really buy it. And I think there's people that are struggling with OCD that think this is some sort of trick. And it is not. It's not a trick. It is what the treatment is just learning to be uncomfortable saying, I can't get an answer to this. There was another point I wanted to make there about Grayson. Oh yeah, Grayson says in one of his videos, which is true, just saying I'm willing to live in a world of uncertainty is great. And if it were that easy, then no one would have OCD. But the treatment is learning how to do that. It's learning how to live in a world of uncertainty. And so that's what all the tools are. It's just helping you to get to that point. All right, so guys, taking the first step to accepting living in a world of uncertainty means you can't know if it's OCD or if it's real. You can't know what the odds of it becoming real are. You can't know if you will ever get an answer or ever know if it is OCD or not OCD. So most OCD sufferers suffer from twofold obsession. It's one, the initial obsessional fear. So say your fear is contamination, and you're afraid you're gonna get AIDS from touching a doorknob. Okay, that's one fear. The other fear is you have to live with the not knowing. So it's like that for almost every form of OCD. For people with HOCD, it's I have to live in a world where I don't know if I'm gay or not. And I also have to live in a world where I might never know. I might never get an answer. I might never know if it's OCD or not. So there's almost always a second tier of acceptance of uncertainty, and that's the acceptance that you can't know if it's real or if it's ever going to change or get better or you're ever going to get resolution to it. Don't take this lightly, guys. Like I said, truly, this is the entire treatment. All right, do me a favor. If you have any questions, please hit me up. You can send me an email at brian@ocdmindful.com or ocdmindful@gmail.com. They're both up and running. And all right, guys, I hope that helps, and I'll catch you next time.